What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad.
I'm Miguel.
And tonight, in the 37th episode of our show, we're talking Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City's first official screen grabs, a new deal which has the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2021 heading straight to Netflix, the lineup for DC Fandome on October 16th, what we watched this week, plus a whole bunch more. We've got a new setup, a new look, and we would like to welcome you to episode number 37 of Let's Talk Movies. Peep that new look, though, right?
Yeah, right?
New look. So we've been working on this for a while. We have a new look. We're using a new platform as well. We were using Zoom before, and I was editing the crap out of everything we did. But I think this is going to be a little bit easier to do.
Yeah, I think so, too. And also, like, that intro, dude, it feels like a commercial. You know how, like, whatever, like, I don't know if any of y'all have been on TV, but, like, when you're on TV and then they say, like, okay, you're going to talk. All right, then we're going to go to commercial break. And, like, you have to wait there and watch every single commercial until you get back on. It's fucking ridiculous.
Definitely.
But, yeah, this is going to be fun, guys.
It is going to be a good one. I dig the new background. I was trying to figure out, if you can't really even see, it's let me show you. If you're watching on YouTube, it's basically the lobby of a retro movie theater. You got your snack line, you got your posters. It's pretty dope.
All the right things for your nostalgic, right?
For your nostalgic pleasure, people.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
How you doing today, man?
It's 11 o'clock, and on Labor Day, I'm pissing them up.
Yeah. Yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody.
Yeah, happy Labor Day,
We're actually doing this the day of, which is kind of strange for us because we usually record like 2 or 3 days in advance, but we're doing this one like literally it is 11:33 on Labor Day morning.
Yeah.
And we usually
we are working. You know, technically,
we are working.
We're working.
We usually record late at night when we're slightly intoxicated and tired, but right now I'm just drinking water and we are just enjoying this nice, relaxing Labor Day. I slept in until about 8:30 today.
Yeah,
not really.
And I'm over here drinking a good old Bang.
Miguel is really trying to get Bang to
start my morning. Please sponsor us, Bang. I drink enough of your products as is. You're the reason why I came back to fucking energy drink. So yeah, just fucking sponsor me, man.
He's trying to get that sponsor.
Yeah, boy. Ain't we all trying to get sponsored?
Duh.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I don't even drink energy drinks. So that'd be all on you.
Yeah.
Big show tonight. We're talking Texas Chainsaw. There's some weird news about that. It scares me. We're going to talk about the lineup for DC Fandome, which is happening on October 16th. We're going to talk about the Resident Evil. We got the first official screenshots of Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and
we're not happy about it, guys.
I'm not unhappy about it, but I'm also not like thrilled. Like I'm not as excited as I was.
Yeah, we're cautious about it right now.
I am very cautiously optimistic about Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Precisely.
Like I want it. Okay,
I want it to be good. There's been too many. Resident Evil has been misses for a long time. There hasn't been a hit. I don't know
if I'd say it's misses. I really enjoyed the first two. Like Resident Evil from 2002 and Apocalypse from 2004 were really good. Like I genuinely enjoyed them. But when I enjoyed Extinction. I enjoyed them all. But when Extinction happened, I was kind of like, okay, we are really deviating from the game. Like we're really going in a different direction than I thought we were going to go. So, but it's okay. So
yeah, it's fine. At least they're going like directly into the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're not like creating a different story, so to speak.
Right.
But I don't know. It's like I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get to it.
We will. We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there in a little bit. Before we do any of that, we usually talk about what we watched this week, but I can tell you what I did not watch last week or this week. I am now 2 episodes behind on The Walking Dead, and I'm very upset with myself about it. I have not watched the last two. I watched the premiere, and then I have been lazy and I didn't watch the next two, which is weird for me because I'm a huge Walking Dead guy, but I just haven't. I didn't do it.
Yeah, big rip, because this is the last season. I'd be on. I figured you'd probably be on this like a lot.
Honestly, when we're done with this, I'm probably gonna I'll probably
Take
go
a
out there.
gander.
Well, I'll get this uploading to YouTube and stuff, and then I'll take that gander and I'll watch it.
All right. Let me know how it goes, because I removed my subscription from AMC.
Have you? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Dog,
Have
I'm
you seen-
telling you, I went on a subscription purge, man. You know what I mean?
You
never
have
had
been
that?
talking about that, wanting to get rid of some of them that like you didn't use.
Yeah, exactly. And one of them was The Walking Dead, which really pissed me off. Was I did that like 2 or 3 months before
The last
the show came out.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck me, man! I'm probably gonna have to like get back on this later." But hey, at least I saved like $30, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm.
What else did you watch this week? Well, we actually shared a watch this week.
Yeah, we shared a watch, guys. We shared a watch.
A watch, like what you like time, like we
Yeah.
both wore that watch together
Yeah.
simultaneously.
The fuck is wrong with you, man?
Miguel came over on Saturday and we watched Halloween 2018. And that was a good time. We didn't do a commentary, and I almost wish we would have, but we have something coming down the pipe that we're trying to save that for closer to kills. But
yeah, it was a good time. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I saw something like on Facebook. It was like, one Halloween movie for every day of the month of October, and then I like immediately thought like, yo, we just need to like do something like that. But instead, Brad's wife was like, why don't you just come over and we'll watch a Halloween movie? And then I was like, all right, sure. So we did that, and I was not expecting. Here's what I was expecting. I was expecting dinner. Okay, some laughs, and then we'll just watch like a Halloween themed movie. And in my head, I was thinking, like, hey, we're probably just gonna watch like Hocus Pocus or Return to Halloween Town or any of the other franchises. But no, we let Julia pick, and this woman picked Halloween 2018. Can you believe it?
I married the right woman. I mean, what can I say?
She said, "Yeah, I think it'll be fun." I was like, "Okay." I've literally been had my triple dose of Halloween.
What do you mean?
We talk about Halloween a lot. You know what I mean?
We have been talking, and we're not really going to talk about Halloween Kills this episode because there's not really anything new, other than the second trailer did leak on YouTube, but I tweeted about this the other day. It's not really a leak because the studio, it's playing in movie theaters. Like if a studio releases something in theaters to play in front of I think it's playing in front of Candyman. Like it's not really a leak. It's not.
No, it's not a leak.
Like they're releasing it. It's out there. It's nothing leaked. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Like that's it, But anyways, Halloween 2018, honestly, I remember I went and saw that I saw it opening weekend and I went with my parents. It was my mom's first Halloween movie experience. And I mean, my dad and I, were huge fans, but I remember when the movie ended, I was really disappointed. And I don't even know why. Like, I was just like, I was kind of like, I thought it was going to be the last time we saw Michael. And I thought they just killed him off like that. And I was kind of like bummed. But I think that movie has grown on me more and more every single time I've watched it.
Since knowing that he's going to come back.
Well, yes, but not even just that. Like I've appreciated the little things they did more and more. Like it took me, I saw it twice in the theater. And then like when I bought it, I've probably seen it 6 times. We saw it Julia's first time. It was playing at the drive-in in Bourbon County in Kentucky. And we went and saw that. They were playing Halloween 18 and then Scream, the original Scream, back to back. So we went and watched. No, it was A Nightmare on Elm Street because she fell asleep during A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is ironic. But she thought it was boring. But she loved Halloween 2018, so that was kind of that was pretty neat.
That was good. That was a good moment where it was like, I'm gonna marry this girl.
Yep. Well, we were already married, so.
Oh, well, never mind then. I made the right choice.
Yeah, and it was really cool because, Michael. I gotta say, he was pretty scary again. Like, it wasn't anything earth shattering, but I think that movie did what it needed to do. And I think I don't know why it took me so long to realize it. I didn't hate it when I saw it originally. It didn't have the impact on me that I thought it would, but like the more and more I've watched it, the more and more I've come to appreciate it.
Okay,
If that
that's
makes
fair.
sense.
That's fair.
So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, the Halloween 2018 movie was good for what it was, I guess. I mean,
I think Kills will be better. I
oh,
do.
I'm sure, but it was just the way Brad kept saying it, or no, it wasn't even Brad that was kept saying it. It was his wife. She was saying she was telling Brad, she was like, Miguel, Brad, why are you not recording this?
She
Because the
did.
commentary is pretty fucking funny.
It was
Guys.
funny.
I'm not
We
gonna
were
lie.
we were laughing. There were a couple points we were really really laughing.
Yeah, there's a certain point in that movie where I was just cracking up. I couldn't stop laughing. And I'm sure you
I
guys, if
got
you guys have
peanut
seen
butter on my
Halloween 2018, you guys would know what I'm talking about. It's fucking gold.
It was good.
Yeah.
I do not have COVID, by the way. I was just tested a couple days ago, and I'm coughing, but I'm just it's allergies and gunk and crap. No, it's not. I promise it's not. I've also weird. I don't even know why. Like the end of August, I've been on a huge Harry Potter kick. We're gonna
That's
finish.
just a fall thing, dude. Don't give me that shit.
I'm
Don't give me
usually
that
not.
shit. It's a fall thing. Fuck out of here.
I am
Every
usually
single
not
fall,
the Harry Potter guy.
the second a leaf falls from a tree, where's the Harry Potter? Where's the Harry Potter series? Where is it? We need a yeah. That's usually how it goes. And you know what? There's no complaints. No complaints from me whatsoever. I just know for a fact. I just know for a fact. Like the second the leaves fall, Harry Potter is just a fall thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know. We were talking about it last night because we're watching them through, and I haven't even brought this up to you yet, but surprise, I want to do commentaries for all of them. I think that'd be fun.
Oh,
and I was like, well, maybe we can do that. Like, start at the end of October and go like to the beginning of December, something like that. Do like a commentary series for that if we want. I don't know.
yeah, sure.
But
I'm down for that.
I've just been on a kick of them, and I haven't watched them all the way through again in years. I mean, I remember seeing them in the movie theater. I loved them. I mean, I really liked it. I've never read the books. I know people are like, die.
I own a book, but I haven't read it.
I own 3 of them, maybe.
I own one of them. We talked about this.
We did talk about this. The audiobooks are on YouTube, and I have like an hour drive to work, so I might start listening to them on my way to work. Why not? I don't know. It's like a random obsession with me right now. It's like I'm really into Harry Potter right now, and I don't know.
Is it gonna be like? Is it like one of those audiobooks where it's like the voice actors, like Daniel Radcliffe and all that?
That would be dope, but it's not that I've found. No.
There's a fun fact. If those of you that have watched the Trial of Chicago 8, if I'm not mistaken, on Netflix, if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's like this big old trial that happened after a riot, and like the government was trying to like make some like they're trying to make a showbiz like trial, trying to like make a point or make a point of like, don't do this or else this will happen to you kind of thing. And the trial is just fucking bonkers. The movie itself doesn't present the absolute madness that happened in that trial. And I heard somewhere that if you want to actually know what happened in it, read or listen to the audiobook of legitimate transcripts of that trial, because obviously any type of court session has transcripts of everything that's been said,
right?
And they have it in an audiobook format, and the different people that are reading it are actors. So like the judge is J.K. Simmons, which is pretty dope. And
pretty cool.
Who else? There's a couple other people that I don't recognize right now, but the audiobooks of that trial just sounds pretty dope to listen to.
Yeah.
Because if you guys know about the trial of Chicago 8, I'm probably butchering that, but Yeah, man, no, that was a wild trial, and the movie itself doesn't really do it all that justice. It does to a certain degree, but I feel like the transcript and audiobook format with all those people, it
Hmm.
sounds pretty dope to watch or
That's
listen to.
cool. Man, J.K. Simmons is a judge. That's terrifying.
J.K. Simmons as a judge, can you
That's
imagine
absolutely
that?
terrifying.
That is fucking awesome.
You got
I love
Jameson.
J.K.
You got
Simmons.
what's his name in Whiplash? God, what is his
Neiman? No,
name?
that's the kid.
No, Neiman's the kid. Um, I don't
I
remember what
think I
his
know what
name
you're
is.
talking about. If
What's
I
his
can
name?
find him.
Find it. Find his name for me.
Which, by the way, guys, the two of us, we love Whiplash.
Oh yeah, we're
We
music people.
absolutely
Of
love.
course, we love
Yeah.
Whiplash. What is his name? He's a dick in that movie, like
Oh, is
royal
he?
douchebag. Oh, J.K. Simmons,
I didn't know.
the band director. You just said you love Whiplash. You know which one that is.
I'm sorry. I'm currently trying to do this dual screen thing on my fucking
Oh
computer, and it's giving me hell. So I'm literally just trying to multitask right now.
my God, let me see.
But if you guys haven't seen Whiplash, you guys need to check it out. It's one of those like, I think it was like an Oscar-winning movie, right? If
I
I'm
don't know
not
if it
correct.
won an Oscar, but
But it was like a highly like
Fletcher, that's
uh
his name, Terrence Fletcher in Whiplash.
yeah.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons plays a director of a jazz band at like a prestigious music school, or whatever, and he's abusive. Like he is literally every version of the word abusive to his students.
He's a
And
dick.
it's a really good movie. He plays a good part.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a pretty dope movie.
I'm also really excited to have him back as Jameson too in No Way Home.
Oh
Like
yeah. Well,
that's gonna be awesome, man.
my thing is like I'm kind of upset that they turned him to like a web conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a little
It's a
strange
little
too,
weird.
but
It kind of like
they're
it's
trying to do something
reminiscent.
different.
It's reminiscent of
He's got a
the
podcast
guy
and stuff.
from I know, just like a shout out.
He's like what's his name? Fear Factor dude. He's like the Joe Rogan of the
No,
JJ.
no, he's nothing like that. He's the InfoWars guy. You know, Alex Jones. You remember him?
No, I don't remember
You don't
that.
know who You don't remember who Alex Jones is? He was a guy that was like all about conspiracy theorists, and he would yell and do this and point at you and say they're coming for your children and like all that shit. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I think I might know. I think I've seen clips. I've never listened to him really, but
Yeah, like
I've seen
literally
clips.
pull up literally a video, pull up a picture of Infowars Alex Jones, and then put a picture of J. Joe Jameson's
And
website,
it's the
and I promise you, it
same.
is the exact same thing. It's spot on. So yeah, that's where they got it from. That's cool. I guess it's matching up with the times. Because I mean, people don't read fucking magazines. They're on podcast and stuff like that.
People barely even read newspapers anymore.
They
You
really
know,
don't. They really
I know a
don't.
lot of
And that
people
was like the
do, but
thing.
yeah, I think people do. It's more of like I think it's turning into like a bigger city thing, like the New York Times, or in Chicago or L.A. or Miami or something, like, I don't know. It might be something like that.
It's
But
just for nostalgic feeling.
dude, I remember when we lived in Florida, the West Palm Beach News was, I kid you not, it was like a novel. It was that thick. I mean, it was like an inch thick. Of the Palm Beach Post was literally like an inch thick newspaper.
Damn, son.
It was huge. But you got to remember, that county has more people living in it than the state of Kentucky does. So, like, I mean, yeah, a lot more news. There's a lot more
Damn,
going
son. I
on.
bet the obituary was fucking long in that bitch.
By the way, this is completely unrelated, kind of related to the whole Jameson thing. Another strange, like, weird obsession that I've had lately. Do you remember the Spider-Man game from 2000, the PS1 Activision game?
Vaguely. There was a lot of Spider-Man games
I've
I
been
played.
on a weird kick of watching a run through of that. I remember when that game came out.
Are you talking about the actual like movie, like Spider-Man game?
No, this was before the move. This was before the Tobey Maguire movies. This was
2001.
before that. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Um,
Those always piss me off, so to speak, nowadays, because when it shows him swinging, it shows him swinging without the webs attaching to a fucking building. You know what I mean?
yeah, it did. He was swinging from the sky.
Yeah, I
You
kept
couldn't
thinking
go
in
on
my
the
head.
ground.
I kept thinking in my head. I
Um,
was like, this dude's swinging on what, fucking weather balloons or something like that.
yeah, let me show you this.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna share the
yeah. It was
screen
like
real
the it was
quick.
like the call. It was like the Jesus.
Yeah, like look at that. Look at Venom.
Oh my
Honestly,
god.
dude, that was a great incarnation of Venom. It really was. Like that was the Venom's voice, um, the way he was kind of stupid. He kind of acted dumb. Like there's a scene where him and first of all, they know who each other are. Like Peter knows that it's Eddie Brock and Eddie Brock knows that it's Peter. And they Venom and Peter like are working together for like a lot of the game. And like there's a moment where I don't remember. There's a moment where they're what are they doing?
They're trying to take down Carnage, I think.
They're trying to take down Carnage and Doc Ock, and Venom is sitting up on a roof, and Spider-Man's walking around, and he's like, "So what are we gonna do? We got to come up with a plan or whatever." And Venom is like,
I have a
uh,
plan.
Venom is like the
Jack.
mighty Thor, and he's like the Submariner, and Spider-Man's like, "Are you stupid?" And he goes, "Wait, don't answer that." And Venom's like, "Oh," it's like he says like stupid crap, but that was a fun game, dude. And you can tell that was before a lot of like that was when Marvel had sold the rights to everything, and it was all still like lumped together before they sold out to make like the Fantastic Four movies and the Tobey Maguire movies and
Mm-hmm.
the X-Men stuff. Like there were so many random characters in that game. Like Daredevil shows up at one point. All of the Spider-Man villains are in there. Black Cat is helping him at the beginning. Captain America picks them up at the end, and the Avengers jet. Like it was just like, what? Like where did any of this come from? The Baxter Building is in it. Like it was just really random. But I've been watching run throughs of that game because it's a weird nostalgic thing for me because I remember
I
playing
thought you
that
don't like
game.
watching run throughs. See, look, he got on my case for watching run throughs and like gameplays.
Okay,
But
no,
no,
no, no, no, no, no. This is
don't
a
give me
game
that
I've
shit.
played before. You watch run throughs of new games so that you don't have to play it.
Also, so I don't have to spend the money to buy a fucking
This is a game I've
PS5.
played
I don't
and
have to
beat
like dig through the
numerous times.
trenches. I don't have to fight someone to buy a PS5 and then buy the game and all that shit. You know how much money I'm saving by just going on YouTube?
Fair. I still
Your
haven't
boy's
played
cheap.
Resident Evil 8 and I'm kind of dying inside, but it's okay.
Do you have the game?
No.
Oh.
Since we started the podcast, dude, I have less time. I watch less movies and TV and play less video games than I did before.
Wow, way to throw yourself under the bus, my guy.
It's okay. It's time. Hopefully, we'll save more time with this new platform. So,
That do be true.
yeah.
I always
What
feel
you?
bad because I'll ask Brad. Sometimes I'll text Brad. I'll be like, "Hey, Brad, what are you doing?" He says, "I'm editing." I was like, "Editing? It's fucking 10:30 at night."
Literally all I
I
do.
said, "What are we doing here, guys?" I
Um.
always felt bad because after this is over, I literally just move on with my day, and then Brad just moves on and does more editing.
I
It's
go back
like,
to work.
yeah, you go back. Yeah, it's fucking rough.
Yeah. What'd you watch this week?
I saw Halloween.
That's all you watched this week was H18.
No, well, guy, we can talk. Have you seen the new What If?
I'm super behind on What If too. I need to watch
Fuck
The Walking
you.
Dead and I need to watch What If. I'm really behind. I only watched the first one with um Agent Carter. That was the only What If episode I've seen.
Bro, that's the first one.
I know. I haven't watched the rest of them.
Oh my goodness, man. They're getting pretty dark, if you ask
I
me.
know. I need to. I'm waiting for the zombie one, dude. I'm
That's this
excited.
Wednesday.
Is it this coming Wednesday?
It's this coming Wednesday. They just
Dope.
posted posters for the new ones. It
Dope.
showed Captain America,
Yeah,
obviously
I
the
did see the
zombie,
poster.
and the new one that I just saw was Hawkeye zombie. So
Dope.
that's pretty dope. And
I need to catch
yeah,
up.
damn, because I wanted to talk about it. The Doctor Strange one. The Doctor Strange one when it becomes like
You can.
the
You're not. It's okay. Like I'm fine if you spoil that for me. Like I'm not gonna. I don't really care about that.
Okay, well, it was the first time because you know the whole like big thing with the Watcher, Watu, and he keeps saying like I will not, shall not, and couldn't or could not intervene.
Mm-hmm.
This nigga intervenes in Doctor Strange.
Does he really?
No, he doesn't really.
Oh,
He actually like talks to Doctor Strange at the end. Like
really?
Doctor Strange had just fucked up. He is on the brink of destroying the whole universe.
Really?
And Doctor Strange out of nowhere says, you, I know you, and I've read about you, I've seen you. I need your help." And then all of a sudden, Watu just pops up, be like, "Bitch, how?" But
You
then
know me?
it's so sad because it was literally getting to the end, and everything that he's done did not work, and he's the way the premise goes. I'm sure you know how the way the premise is. Uh, it was gonna be the night. It's basically like, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hand? Meaning, what if he lost his girlfriend?
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot what her name is.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know what her name is either.
so they're driving to the award show, but then all of a sudden they get in a crash. They get in a crash, and then when Doctor Strange wakes up, she unfortunately passed. So he starts searching for a way to bring her back, and
Huh.
that's how he became Doctor Strange. And it pushes through the
That is
narrative,
kind
like,
of dark.
yeah, it pushes through the narrative, pretty normally. Like he does fight Dormammu, he does make the
Mm-hmm.
bargain and all that, and he does become the Sorcerer Supreme, and he does get the Eye of Agamotto. But the moment where it changes was when Doctor Strange was deciding whether or not to go back in time, use the Eye of Agamotto to use the time stone to go back in time to see what he can do to prevent this. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem was, um,
That's what made him become Doctor Strange, right?
yeah, it made him become Doctor Strange. But at the same time, her death was what they called a pivotal death, meaning like her death needed to happen
Mm-hmm.
for everything to move in motion. Like there was
Right.
nothing he could have done. But there is a way back then, like a long time ago, that could change a pivotal death. And Doctor Strange ended up trying to find that power. And like literally, the Sorcerer Supreme like came back after her
Mm-hmm.
death and tried to like stop him. And it became a multiverse kind of thing, like two variants. So it was Doctor Strange versus the Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange. So that
That's
was pretty
cool.
dope.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And then yeah, it was pretty fucking dope. And it was so sad too. Like it was really fucking sad because when he went back in time, I can't even count how many times he tried to go back in time because it did every single scene. Like it showed every single
Mm-hmm.
time he tried to do something different. He took a different exit. He just stayed in the hotel. He didn't even bother to pick her up. He just stayed at a bar. Like every single choice he made, it ended up in her death. Like that's some
Wow.
fucked up shit right there.
That is pretty.
And
That's pretty bad.
yeah, like that'll mess you up. And
Wow.
so yeah, it went back. He ended up, stopping her death, but in doing so, breaks the reality. So he's trying to stop this reality from breaking, and all of a sudden he ends up having a conversation with Watu, the Watcher, and Watu was fucking savage. Watu was like, "Even if I was a god and I could punish you, I should not. You did this," and went away. I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Damn, Watu, you really don't care about any of those people over there." He literally said, "Fuck them kids."
Have you seen the whole theory about the Watcher actually being Stan Lee? That like
There's
Stan
no
Lee
way there's no
wrote
way
himself.
Watu is Stan Lee.
I
I
know, but
know
like based on
I know
himself.
Stan
You know what
Lee.
I mean?
Yeah, I know the theory that Stan Lee could be a Watcher. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with that. I like that theory. I think that would be dope. And it's actually, I think it's confirmed too. If I'm not mistaken. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2, whenever they're jumping through portals. They jumped through a place where it had the Watchers, and then it had Stan Lee, and he's talking about him being a mailman. Which whenever he
Really?
was a mailman, he was in Fantastic Four, like the one with
Oh, you're right. No,
Jessica
but
Alba.
wasn't he a
He was a
he
FedEx
he
driver.
wasn't the doorman.
He was a FedEx driver for to give the package to Tony Stank.
The doorman was something else.
The doorman was something else, yeah.
Or was
But
he
he
the
he talked
doorman in
about I
Fantastic
think
Four? I don't remember.
yeah, but I think he was a mailman for I think he said he was a mailman in
Mm,
that scene.
okay.
But I like the theory that he is a watcher because, it just immortalizes him, man. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
man. R.I.P. Stan Lee.
Yeah. So
But yeah, pretty dark episode, man. I'm not gonna lie. It
I need to
ends.
watch that. That sounds
It
cool.
it ends the way you think it ends. Like it just everything goes black, and then the credits roll. I was like, "The fuck? Did I just watch? What the hell?" I was literally thinking that. I was like, "Well, there goes that universe."
Cool.
And actually,
Cool.
let me think. It was okay. So it was Carter, it was Black Panther, and then it was the Avengers, and then
Oh yeah.
it was Doctor Strange. Like the last ever since ever since Carter, it's been pretty dark because because with with the Black Panther with T'Challa, Ego finds Peter Quill, and he does end up combining powers. Like Watu pretty much says, this sounds like it's going to be the end of the world for this universe. Blah 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 blah. And then
Wow.
the other one was with the Avengers, where they all just pretty much died, and Loki becomes the ruler of the world. And
Loki does?
then, huh?
Loki?
Yeah. Damn, I'm spoiling the entire thing for you now.
It's
I'm sorry.
okay.
You got me
It's
in.
making me want to watch it even more.
Yeah. Well,
So
it made
I need
him
to catch up.
yeah, it made him the ruler of the world. And then with Doctor Strange, yeah, the universe just breaks.
I
Yeah,
really need
so
to catch up.
they're pretty dope, man. Which is why I'm
Cool.
excited for this one too, because this is gonna be the epitome of dark.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get like a zombie cap. Like
Yeah.
some shit's gonna go down.
I'm such a zombie fan anyways. I honestly that's the one I've been like most excited for is for the Marvel Zombies one. That's gonna be dope.
wasn't. I just wish it wasn't 30 minutes or so. You know what I mean? Like these are
Like
short
if it was
episodes.
like an hour.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Especially for
Yeah.
the zombie one, man. Zombie one's such a good um storyline, and there's
Hmm.
so many complex side stories. The Spider-Man one alone. Like zombie Spider-Man is pretty fucking sad.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so much opportunity for that one, but I guess they just wanted to do something else.
Right. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What you want to talk? What you want to talk? What you want to talk first? Do you want to talk Texas Chainsaw? You want to talk DC Fandom, Resident Evil? Which direction you want to go? Pick your poison, my dear.
I could keep talking about what if, honestly. Let's go to Resident Evil, man. Let's go to Raccoon
Maybe
City.
I'll tell you what. When we finish, when the series is over, we'll do a big episode and we'll talk about all the different what if episodes.
Okay,
We'll
Dad.
just have like a multiverse celebration type deal.
Okay, Dad.
Although this channel's already and this show has already become a multiverse celebration because we talk about it like all the
Constantly.
freaking time.
Constantly.
So what do you want to do?
Let's go to Raccoon City.
All right. Let's talk Resident Evil Raccoon City. Let me get to this screen. All right, Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City. So we got the first official screen grabs the other day, and a new interview with Johannes Roberts, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, who's the director of the movie. And we talked about this a while ago. Like we talked about the fact that they wanted to make this movie like a flat out callback to the original games. I mean, and I was really excited for that. I was like, cool. Like, I love, as much as I love the Paul W.S. Anderson movies and how different they were, and I kind of commend them for doing something really different and for taking like all of the source material and like just throwing everything at the wall. I was really excited until I saw these pictures, because I'm not gonna lie.
They look
I don't know.
weird.
I'm not condemning it yet. I'm not. I mean, I saw people on Twitter that were like, "F this movie, I'm done." Like, I'm not even throwing my money away to go see it. Like, I'm not there yet, but I'm a little freaked out now. So, let's do the pictures first. So before we even read anything, let's take a look at the pictures. So, number one. We have Leon here. I forget who is playing him. We got Leon, and I know obviously this is Claire. First of all, does he look like a Leon to you?
Bro, I want you to know right now. Can okay, we're gonna test this thing out. We're gonna test this new platform out. Look up Victorious. Okay.
Look up what?
Look up Victorious. Okay, guys, you see that picture? This reminds me of the Victorious show because that guy is in that movie, and that scene, those two right there, they look like the two couples that are dating in that movie, in that show. It's fucking hilarious now that I think of it.
Are you wanting me to screen share Victorious?
No, it's fine. But like, if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you've seen Victorious,
I'm not familiar with that.
let me think. Yeah, okay. So his name is Beck. His name is Beck, the guy who plays Leon in this. And who else? Jade. So it's Beck and Jade. These two look like Beck and Jade, like older. It's fucking hilarious because Jade pretty much dresses up pretty gothic like her.
Mm-hmm.
Like her, and it's fucking hilarious now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's great.
I don't know,
The
dude.
fact that I can think of that says a lot
I'm
about
really, really torn because, like, part of me, like, now that I'm looking at it, like, really, like, the characters, I think there's a reason that, like, video game adaptations are so hard, because it's hard to take a character that you're so familiar with in the game and that you recognize, like, their voice actor, their design and their look and their arc. It's so hard to like throw that in like on a screen and make it work.
No, I disagree. You know why? Because look at
I'm not saying it can't be done.
Yeah, look at Cowboy Bebop.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know what that is?
No.
It's an anime.
And that would be why I don't know what it is.
Well, Netflix is doing a like a live action adaptation of that anime, and the set pictures, they look way better than this. Like, I know that the characters look exactly like the Cowboy Bebop, and it's pretty dope. So it can be done. It's just a matter of the budget. You remember we talked about the budget of them right now. Remember?
Right.
We talked about how little the budget is, so we pretty much kind of could assume like what we would be getting in regards to quality and what's it called? Hitting the nail on the exact adaptation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm very torn because the more I look at it, like I dig the set. Like I really dig what I'm seeing with like the dark hallways. You don't know what's around the corner. Like it feels very Resident Evil, but at the same time, like the Leon dude just doesn't look, I don't know.
He doesn't look like Leon.
He doesn't look like Leon. And I guess that's fine. I mean, it's an adaptation. That's why I'm trying to be like, okay, don't be scared just yet. Like I think it'll be okay. I hope that it feels like the game. And everything we've heard from the director is that it feels like the game. Like he is trying to make this thing feel like the game did. I'm a little worried. I hope it feels like the game. I really do.
I'm sure it will. It's just, set pictures are always hard because again, I don't think that's a legitimate scene in the movie. You know what I mean?
Probably not. Probably not.
So it's just some pictures really just don't do it justice. I'm sure whenever they do the editing in the actual scenes, it'll look 10 times better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And again, something that we've all often talked about too is, this obviously is probably, I mean, if you look at Leon and Claire's storyline in Resident Evil 2, um, they're in Raccoon City during the Raccoon City outbreak. But Claire, excuse me, if you go to Chris and Wesker and Jill and everybody else, like this next picture, this is the mansion, and the mansion looks really good. I must say, the mansion looks dope. It really does. The entrance to it, and of course, this is we're not looking at their viewpoint of they're seeing with the stairs and like the different banisters going around. Um, I mean, we're seeing the back as soon as they walk in. I'm assuming this is after the helicopter's down and they're chased by the dogs like through the Arclay Mountains all the way to the opening of the mansion. But we've talked about this before, and it's like another fear I have with this movie is if this is really going to be the mansion incident from Resident Evil 1 plus all of the Raccoon City outbreak from 2 and 3, that's a lot to
That's a
shove
lot of
into one movie.
content to go
That's a
through.
lot of source material.
That
And
is.
I'm worried that the fact that they're trying to get through it so quickly, we're not going to get that source material, which is so rich. I mean, you know,
The mansion itself is so rich in different like Resident Evil lore. I mean, it set
yeah,
up the entire franchise, and for them to just push through the mansion incident kind of like
yeah.
belittles the entire storyline that could have been told in a much deeper sense if
hmm
it had just been the mansion incident.
And look, say what you will about Resident Evil. I know some people don't like where it went with 4 and 5 and 6 and even 7 and 8 now because it has Resident Evil's been in a lot of different areas. It's done a lot of different things. But Resident Evil has some of the richest, most in-depth source material of any video game or movie out there. It does.
Agreed.
They
Yeah, I
could keep
agree.
making games forever
It
with
can
that source
make
material.
a plethora of backstories and just different spin-offs
And that's
because
why
I
there's
mean,
so many different spin-offs. I mean, there's a ton of different spin-offs.
yeah, you can make so many different stories on this side and in this you can make so many different stories based on the mansion incident, which technically
Right.
they are, but
Yeah.
just like in general with the mansion, you can make so many different stories about it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, so like obviously this is Chris, and I dig his
Also,
look for Chris.
I
I
think
dig
it's
that.
hilarious. Well, one thing I am glad that they're sticking with like obviously every single one of them besides old boy and the Edge is carrying like an MP5, which is like the
Yeah.
exact. I think it's the exact gun you get when you
It
start
is.
off the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty dope. Good job on sticking to that continuity.
Uh-huh. Um Chris and Jill look good. I'm assuming the guy on the far left is Wesker. We can't really get a
Interesting.
clear look on his face, but I'm fairly certain that that's Wesker. I don't think
Okay.
that was Barry. I don't know who this is. It doesn't say. It just says welcome to Raccoon City. From left to right, Albert Wesker, Richard Aiken, oh, okay. Richard Aiken. Oh, that's Aiken. Okay, interesting. That's Richard Aiken, Jill, and then Chris. And they are in the Spencer Mansion. Okay, so this is like the opening. So I assume this is pretty early on in the movie. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
my
I gotcha.
original, and we talked about this too a little while ago. One of my original thoughts was like maybe the bulk of this movie will take place in the mansion, and then towards the end, we're introduced to Leon and Claire when things kind of start going wrong in Raccoon City, and then like from the first Paul W.S. Anderson film, I think my favorite part of that movie is when Alice and wakes up. She's in the Umbrella Hospital. We get the Nemesis tease at the end, and then she walks out, and Raccoon City is just freaking gone. Like it is just obliterated. There's like the George Romero callback with the dead walk, the newspapers kind of flowing in the wind, and she cocks the shotgun, and then it's like, holy crap, this is the Raccoon City outbreak. That was dope. And if they could do the same kind of thing with that, where the majority of the movie is the mansion incident, and then at the end is the tip of the iceberg for the Raccoon City incident. But I don't think they're going to do that because there's too many. Like Chief Irons is going to be in this, and Chief Irons is, I believe, I haven't played part 2 in a long, long time, but I think he's at the very end of that game when they run in with Police Chief Irons. So like, my biggest concern and my biggest question isn't even the characters. It isn't what they're going to do with the zombies and the creatures. My big concern is like, when is this going to take place? Like, unless this is going to be a 3-hour movie, which I don't think it will be. Like you said before, there's a lot of source material to jam pack into this thing.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest question. And then we had one more screen grab.
Who the fuck is that?
That looks nasty, dude.
Who the fuck is that? Actually, no. I probably. Let me think.
I don't know what enemy this is.
It was.
Let's see what the Lisa Trevor appears. Oh shit. Okay, so that's no. Okay. I understand what this is now.
I remember shooting this bitch a dozen of times.
Okay,
the Umbrella Chronicles.
That's the first time I've read that. I had not seen that description before. So that is Lisa or Liza. I forget how you say her name. So she was basically another awful experiment. And I hope they push that too. It's like the whole the Umbrella, the illegal experiments, I really hope they push that angle of this too. Because I mean, obviously that is something that we did. We got that with the other movies, but it kind of veered away. It was more about Alice.
Yeah.
We didn't really get, it was mainly about them wanting to control Alice. And she was like superhero. You know what I mean? I want to really explore like
I want to explore the failed experiments.
Yeah, the original, how Umbrella became, how they found the T virus. Like that description said with Lisa Trevor and the how they discovered the other variants of the virus to create Nemesis, to create Tyrant. All the stuff with William Birkin, how the Raccoon City outbreak even started. Like that's the stuff that I really want to explore, because even in the Paul W.S. Anderson films, we did get the whole, even the outbreak though, even the Hive outbreak, it was Alice, because her and her husband were trying to shut Umbrella down. Like Alice was the focus of that entire thing.
Yeah.
And they really have an opportunity here to pull so many different things into this movie. This could be like, I'm going to say something here. And it's going to be really, really bold. Resident Evil has the potential to be a cinematic universe.
No.
It really does.
No.
I don't know if it has the fan base to keep it up.
Not anymore. I mean, you're losing them with the video games alone. And then the movies probably threw out so much of them too.
I'm just saying it has enough source material.
I think the only thing that's really saved the Resident Evil franchise has been the remastered versions of the video games.
I do want to play those too. I don't know if I'd say it saved it, but I mean,
let's be honest, they were kind of like veering like too far. You know what I mean? Like they were
starting to veer pretty far.
Yeah, they were stretching too thin, and
but I mean, 4 and 5 were incredibly successful.
Yeah, but how long ago was that? A while.
2004 and 2009.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
And then
That
6
was a
came
couple
out in
years.
2012. 7 was what, 2017?
Yeah.
And
So
then
it's been a
8
while,
came
and
out
we haven't
last
heard
year.
anything about that. It was like the same thing that we were worried with the MCU. Like it had just been a year since we've had a Marvel project, and we're like, are we gonna like lose like this drive that we have with the
Yeah,
cinematic universe? Like people did have that fear.
right.
Now with Resident Evil, we are literally seven no, like 6 or so years without like another like project besides obviously the new game that came out. But in
Mhm.
regards to a movie and anything to like delve into the actual legitimate franchise, yeah, it's little sketch. And the
Yeah.
most of the fans have just went underground pretty much because there isn't nothing to be excited for
Yeah.
except for this movie now.
Well, and I don't know, they really have a chance here, especially seeing this, and now that I
I
realize what
like it.
I'm now that I realize what I'm looking at, I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I get it now. Like I get that that's who that is. I
Do you think that's
understand. Um
do you think that's like kind of CGI, or do you think it
um
looks CGI?
I hope it's a combination. I do. I mean, there's going to be CGI obviously. We reported on that a
Yeah,
while
but is
ago.
it
But
gonna be like heavily CGI?
I hope not. I understand for Lickers, for if Nemesis is going to be in it, if for Tyrant, I get that some of it has to be CGI, but I hope that a lot of it's prosthetics and actual, like, not not exactly what they did with Thanos, even though Thanos looked incredible. But
Yeah.
I hope
Well,
that there's some
I am gonna
legitimacy to it.
I am gonna flip. Nemesis and Resident Evil Apocalypse
Apocalypse, he looked
look
dope.
dope.
He
That
was
was all
dope.
practical effects.
I know
No,
people
he
hated that
looked
it was Matt and that Nemesis was kind of a good guy at the end,
I know, but yeah, because he's not
but he
supposed to,
looked
but
good.
he
He looked
looked
damn good.
nice. That was
Yeah.
I'm sure a bulk of that budget went to Nemesis. Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
It
That's a
looked
lot of prosthetics. I hate to be the guy in all of that prosthetics because he was probably like, "Get me out of this" when they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
done filming.
Well, do you see okay, so you see how, like, insane that prosthetic is. Let me tell you, I'm sure that was hell because there was a story about, Jim Carrey told a story about whenever he was,
Stars.
when Jim Carrey was, being going through the makeups of, The Grinch,
Hmm.
he said it was almost like he was being buried alive with
Yeah,
that alone,
it's like the
and he
same
had
thing
to
with Robert Englund with Freddy Krueger.
yeah, it was like being buried alive, and it, like, really takes a toll. So can you imagine something like Nemesis being that thick and,
Right.
like, into the thick of all of those prosthetics? Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
This I could see, like, her arms look. This looks real. Now, I don't know if this is hair. I don't know if that's blood. If this is like they're shooting. I don't know what it is. But two thoughts here. Uh, First thought is I like that we're going to. It makes me excited that we're going to explore the experiments and how dark it is. Because let's be completely honest, some of that stuff Umbrella does in the original games is
Pretty fucked.
it's nasty. Like
Yeah.
it's get under your skin, creepy crawly, disgusting. And I hope we get that with this movie. Um, Second of all, I do hope that there is a mixture of prosthetic um and CGI, but I also am thinking realistically here that like I get that with there's obviously going to be a time constraint because I mean yes it's Resident Evil and yes there's a
We're
lot
probably
of
gonna
people that are super excited for this, but at the same time they don't have the time or the budget that Endgame did. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They don't
yeah.
have time to make
I would
every single villain prosthetic
mhm.
and what's the word?
Practical effects.
Practically done. They're gonna have to do some CGI, but I hope it's
Yeah.
good CGI. I don't want it to be that crappy Fantastic Four from whatever year that came out CGI, because some of that
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
god awful. So
Hey, man, let's be honest. Some of the practical effects back then were pretty good. I mean, look at okay, if we're trying to like say we've gone so far in regards to special effects, I mean, yeah, we had Thanos, but one thing that really did piss me off with like Infinity War and Endgame was the use of CGI in that movie. Like you could tell
Yeah.
where they put so much effort into Thanos, and then so little effort in like Banner and the Hulkbuster, and then in
I didn't
Civil
think
War
I didn't think
with
Iron Man looked good in either one of those movies, to be honest.
in which one?
Either one of them. I thought, I mean, I get it because they're doing like the
No, no.
nanotech thing,
Look,
but like,
Iron
I
Man,
didn't think Iron Man looked that great.
like fully suit up Iron Man and Endgame and Endgame and Infinity War was absolutely dope. It looked great. My only thing is whenever it came to like Tony and when it came to like him taking off the helmet and just being him, yeah, the CGI was terrible. Like it wasn't blended well. Like
It
let's be
wasn't
honest.
terrible, but it like I could tell.
You
I don't
could
know, like
tell.
for Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, I felt like, wow, this looks like it looks like he's actually in a metal suit of armor.
Yeah,
Endgame, it
because
was
in
like,
Iron Man
oh, he's in
and
a
Iron
CGI
Man 2,
suit of armor.
yeah, and Iron Man 2, like you remember the diner scene? I rewatched the diner scene
Yeah,
with Nick Fury and
it looks
Tony.
legit.
It looks legit. It felt like a Pulp Fiction scene in my head for a second when they
Definitely.
were in the diner and they were talking, and it really had them in like the full regalia. But
Yeah,
obviously Tony didn't like doing that, so they just gave him the football uniform and just had at it on that one.
right.
Which I get it, and they obviously came through. But again, you could tell where the CGI is and how you know half-assed that it was blended. So whenever I'm looking at this, it looks like those scenes alone. I fear that it's going to be like a cutscene from the video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
and
I worry about.
I completely I get that. So let's read through this article real quick. Let's get to Johannes Roberts' interview, um, an exclusive email interview with IGN. Roberts elaborated on the differences between his Resident Evil movie and the prior Screen Gems films with starring Mila Jovovich and produced by Paul W. S. Anderson. Okay, um, let's see. So here's the interview. How long is this? Okay, we may not read through every bit of it, but it'll be on screen so you can read through it if you wish. So IGN asked him, Resident Evil is one of the most commercially successful video game movie franchises ever. Why reboot it instead of continuing it? He said, I actually love the first movie so much. I think it's great. And Milia just created such an iconic character, which is true, but it was its own thing. It wasn't really Resident Evil as I knew it. The previous movies never captured the game and the feelings I got when playing the game. That's not a criticism. I think it just went in a different direction. I wanted to go back to the horror of it all. I wanted scares and atmosphere rather than full on action, which I appreciate that. I get that. I think fans of the game felt the same. They wanted to see the iconic characters and locations and feel that the movie was more in line with the RE game world. So that's really why we chose to go in that direction. We worked hand in hand with Capcom on this movie. To the point that we actually got blueprints for them on the designs of the Spencer Mansion. That's pretty dope. And the Raccoon City police station in order to recreate them as perfectly as we could. That's dope. We even have the exact artwork on the mansion walls. Capcom saw it for the first time the other day and was so happy and excited. And that, as a nerd, made me happy and excited. That's the kind of stuff that makes me happy and excited.
Mm-hmm.
To know that they went through that much effort to try and recreate the games. And I mean, I even like I again, Resident Evil is part of the thing that got me into horror movies. It's part of what got me into playing video games. Like Resident Evil was the first video game series that I really like went into like head first. And I loved it. And I still to this day am a huge Resident Evil fan. Um, and there is a very weird, creepy, eerie feeling that you get playing Resident Evil, even to this day. There is.
Yeah, I agree.
Even when they
It's like
even when they went strange with 4 and 5 and 6, you still get that eeriness, you know?
I agree, and well for the the previous franchise of the Resident Evil, it went from like Resident Evil to like kind of Silent Hill-ish. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Oh yeah,
That's kind of the way I got it. And
right.
yeah, again, that was cool. It was cool and groovy. Yeah, I liked it. But in regards to like the actual movie, like the actual game material, yeah, it was kind of like meh. It was like, yeah, they definitely went in a different direction. And I was about to say, like, they went through all this work to make it exactly look like the mansion in Raccoon City for a total of probably 40-minute screen time.
And it didn't even really look like the mansion, you know?
Yeah. Well,
It
I'm
was
talking
still
about this movie. That's what
whoa,
I'm
whoa, whoa,
guessing.
whoa. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
they went through all this work for probably like 40 to 30 minutes of screen time of the entire
I
movie.
hope not.
I'm assuming.
See, that's why my biggest concern is time, because it's like you need to be able to give enough time for the mansion, and you need to be able
Mhm.
to give enough time for Raccoon City. And I'm worried that they're not going to do that. It's going to be very like boom 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 boom
It's gonna be
boom,
like
and then
it's gonna be like really point fingerish. Like, oh, I recognize that. Oh,
yeah,
I recognize that. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
right. So,
It's gonna be kind of like a fan service. I hope it's not the case. I hope it's really not just like a fan service kind of thing. I hope they legitimately like make a decent like
yeah,
storyline into it.
I agree. And they have like a cast comparison. Like there is obviously Kaya Scledario. I'm not sure exactly how you say her name. She's playing Claire. Kaya I don't know. I'm not even gonna try again.
Scodelario, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Hannah John Carmen is playing Jill. Um, there's Chris. He looks pretty spot on. I'm not gonna lie. He looks
Yeah,
like Chris.
a young Chris Redfield. I'm not gonna lie,
Definitely
my favorite one is my favorite Chris Redfield is probably
5.
5 and 6.
Yep, I love him in 5 is great.
Yeah.
Um, Tom
Him and
Hopper
6 was
playing
pretty, yeah.
Wesker. He looks like
Yeah.
Wesker. He's the one, man, and it's nothing against him, man. From what I've heard, he's a really great actor. But he just doesn't look like Leon to me. He does not at all.
All I see is just that chill boyfriend for Jade and Victoria. That's all I see.
Yeah.
He looks like a Wesker, so to speak.
Yeah, I could see that too. He's playing William Birkin, which I could, if he grows the hair out longer, or if they do a wig or something, I could see him playing Birkin. Like I could,
Mhm.
I could see that.
Neil
That
Neil
would be fine.
Neil McDonough he's a pretty good actor.
He
Like, I
is.
like him.
I like him a lot too.
I saw him
Um,
in Suits.
why is she on here?
Ali
I mean,
Carter's Claire
I
and
love
Roseville.
I love Allie Larder, but why is she in the lineup for this?
I don't know.
Oh,
Oh no,
and
they're
I
just
guess
showing like
they're just showing the OGs.
yeah.
He looks like knockoff Chris. I didn't his acting was fine, but like the way he looked, it felt very rushed.
I thought when I saw his introduction, like when he was in the cell, I was like, they got Eminem in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looks like Eminem's like older cousin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that bad for you to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this guy is Leon. He was like,
Will the wheel Slim Shady please stand up?
"Hey,
Mm.
Alice,
Hey. Yo,
what are we
dog,
doing here?"
that jacket is 3 sizes too small, my man. If you lift your arms, I'm
They
seeing
were
full on belly button.
they were trying to make him look like Leon in Resident Evil 4 though.
Yeah, 4.
She was a good Jill. I will say she killed it as Jill. Like
Yeah,
completely killed it.
I agree.
Um Sean Roberts was a good Wesker. He was
He
good.
was.
So,
He just had that like that attitude.
yeah.
But then him as Wesker, it was like a really deep voice.
Yeah.
And then like in the Resident Evil games, it was a really like high pitched voice. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
Wesker.
Yep.
Like, yeah. I just think it's really funny
I always
to have
think
the
of
different
Wesker in
voices.
5, like when Sheva and Chris are fighting him in 5, he's like 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I have time to play with you. Like
Yeah.
what? It's like how he talks.
What have you seen? Have you played like the Resident Evil like Umbrella Chronicles on Wii?
Yes. I
Yeah.
had
I
the
love this. I love the
first
storyline with
one.
Wesker. The storyline with Wesker is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because just the way his quips in the entire game is fucking great.
It is
He's
good.
like he sounds like such an anti-hero even though he is like a villain. He just sounds like such an anti-hero to me.
Yeah, definitely. So then IGN asked, how did these incarnations of characters such as Jill and Leon alter from their versions in the past film or in past films? And Johannes said, the difference with this film as opposed to the original movie or the previous movies is that it is an ensemble where each of the main characters carries a huge importance to the narrative. Okay, it's good. They are not just cosplay characters.
Fuck.
Is he throwing shade at which look, man, I own all the Paul W.S. Anderson ones. Like, I love Resident Evil. I love his movies. But if we're being honest, Chris and Leon in the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, if you completely removed them from the movie, nothing would be missed. It wouldn't matter. Like they would. It was like a cosplay kind of deal, which I get that. That's pretty savage of him to say.
Damn.
Really
Even though he
is.
says he loves the movies as a whole. Well, here, okay, look, this is the best way I can say it. He loved the story with Alice, but as soon as he started bringing the original characters, he was probably like, "Get the fuck out of here, man." He was probably like that. He said, "What the fuck am I getting great value, Chris Redfield?"
Well, I remember when Leon showed up in what is it? Is it an Afterlife or Retribution? Whichever one Leon shows up in, I was just like,
"Where the fuck were you been?
Why?" I was like, "What? Like, where did he come from? Like, randomly? It was very strange."
Yeah, if you were to introduce him, it would have been like Raccoon City, like an apocalypse.
Yeah,
that's where he was introduced. But no,
it was very strange the way they just kind of like threw Leon,
him in
there.
Yeah, yep.
Ada had more screen time than Leon did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and whenever Leon saw her, he was like, Ada.
That was killed me how he talked, because Leon didn't talk like that. Leon's very just like, I don't know. I mean, he does have like he's serious when he talks, but it's not. I don't know. It was just strange. He was very like, Ada, what are you doing here? Like, it was like bulky bodybuilder type accent. I don't know.
It was because of that jacket. The jacket was so constricting on his
jacket.
chest. Every time he talked, he was like, Ada.
He couldn't
what
talk.
What are you doing here? I don't
know. He said, I think previously everything had been about the Alice character, which it had, which is not a knock. I like Alice. I like Milia, which was never in the games. And the game characters that did appear, like Jill, Leon, Claire, and Chris, did so in kind of a supporting cameo. Did so as kind of supporting cameos, which they did. Jill and Leon in this movie are equal leads along with Claire and Chris and Wesker, which is dope. I'm feeling better the more I read through this article. Jill was such a fun character to play around with, a sort of live wire small town girl. She's kick-ass, but not in a superhuman way, which is kind of how she is in the games. I mean, she is. You feel scared for her when shit goes down. Hannah and John Kamen.
Yeah,
I don't know. Hannah. Whoops, I hit myself. Hannah John Kamen. It's all one word. I'm thinking there's two names. It's one word here. Hannah John Kamen really brought her to life. Leon Kennedy was interesting because in many ways, he was my way into the movie as a writer. I sort of saw the story through his eyes, which is interesting because Leon has nothing to do with the mansion incident.
No, really.
I wanted to move away from the buff action hero that Leon became in the later games and to return to the Leon of his very first rookie incarnation in Resident Evil 2, which is okay. I'm fine with that. Although I do like Leon. I think Leon is probably the strongest character in the games, other than Chris. Leon and Chris are the two strongest characters.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Remember that movie? I forgot. It was like more recent. There was a scene
the animated movies.
Yeah, where I had like Leon and Chris like fighting all these zombies. Yo, that scene right there was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then he says about what was I gonna say? In this movie, he's not an action hero. He's slightly out of his depth, very hungover, and he can't believe the shit that's going down on his first day. The events of the film
that was his first day, man.
Yeah, it was. It was like his first, like his entry to being a cop was the Raccoon City outbreak, which is cool. You know what I really liked is Resident Evil Outbreak. You want to talk about the atmosphere, man. Resident Evil Outbreak really captured that atmosphere because that's literally, and that was a cool concept for a game too, because literally the opening of the game is dope. It has this whole terrifying like opening cutscene where it's like showing basically everything leading up to the Raccoon City incident. And then Like it's showing like the Umbrella Soldiers fighting Tyrant in the sewers and stuff, and rats going, and then it goes up and you're outside of Jay's bar. That's what it's called in Raccoon City. And literally the group of characters you play as is just a bunch of people who happen to be sitting in a bar at the same time when the outbreak started. And it's like you can switch off between different characters, and it's still got like the weird third person camera angles where like you can't see what's around the corner and stuff. It was cool. It was a really cool game. There's Johannes Roberts. He is the director.
He is the man.
Let's read. I'm not going to read all of this.
I keep saying John Carpenter. What's going on with him?
I think it was. I think his movies were kind of an inspiration for the aesthetic. So, like the aesthetic of Halloween, the aesthetic of Escape from New York, The Fog. Like, I think that's kind of the aesthetic they're going for with this, which is cool because John Carpenter movies do have a very specific look and feel to them, you know, which is pretty cool, and I dig that. So let's just read a couple more of these. So can you define what your visual aesthetic was for the film in terms of differentiating with what audience have seen in past Ari movies? He said this movie really had nothing to do with the previous franchise. That was all about returning to the games and creating a movie that was much more a horror movie than a sci-fi action movie. And that is great. I love that. I was hugely influenced in a particular by the remake of the second game, and I really wanted to capture the atmosphere drenched tone that it had. It was so cinematic. The previous movies were bright and shiny, whereas this movie was dark and grimy, entirely shot at night. It's constantly raining, and the town is shrouded in mist. And I dig that, too. That's really cool. I was very influenced by 70s filmmaking techniques. We shot using zooms a lot, and there were no drone shots in the movie or crazy CGI camera shots that are physically impossible.
Oh, man.
What?
It would have been cool to have a drone shot of Raccoon City just going to shit.
Yeah, of like just all hell breaking loose.
Yeah.
Like in the streets and in buildings. That would have been cool. The movie has a very old school retro feel to it. I was hugely we just read that. You can really feel the texture in this movie. Nothing feels high tech. It feels dilapidated. I want Raccoon City to feel a bit like the town in Deer Hunter. I'm not familiar with Deer Hunter, a ghost town forgotten by the rest of the world, and the whole structure of the film was definitely very influenced by Assault on Precinct 13. So he's obviously very, he's very Carpenter. He's Carpenter influenced. Talking about the creatures, he said we returned to the game wherever we were, looking at the characters and creatures and locations. It was our guiding star. They worked very closely with Capcom. Every character and creature is from the game, and as such, I wanted to be as faithful as possible. I wanted to create a truly immersive feeling for the fans, but that also became the trickiest part of adapting a piece of IP like this, because I didn't just want to put the game on screen. It had to be its own thing with living, breathing characters and creatures, and of course zombies that felt true to the world. There's some cool shit in there. I mean, some of the creature stuff looks incredible. It was a mixture of prosthetics. Okay, there we go. Prosthetics, CGI, and creature performers. Thumbs up from me.
Agreed.
Big old thumbs up from me. There's some wonderfully freaky stuff in there. You'll immediately recognize the creatures from the game, but hopefully we've gone beyond the game in terms of making these terrifying creatures feel like they really could exist in real life. That's cool. That makes me really excited. So he talked about casting Leon and Jill, the creature designs, which we kind of just talked about, pretty much all the same exact things we've been talking about. So I don't know. Our little Resident Evil therapy session has made me feel a lot better about it. When I first saw those pictures, I was like,
yeah, at face value, it sounded.
I was like,
pretty
I don't know, but I think they really do have an appreciation for the source material.
Yeah.
And I think they really are going to try to make it as true to the game as they can.
So. I agree too. My only thing is, again, it's just the time. I don't want to feel rushed into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sit down and enjoy the show. I don't want to be like put on a roller coaster because again, roller coasters are like they're fun, but then like by the time it's over, you're like, well, what the fuck just happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it hits you really, really, really hard, and then it's just over. And I
yeah,
want it to lead somewhere. Like again,
mm-hmm.
they won't. This will never happen because there's not enough of a. I don't want to say there's not enough of a fan base because Resident Evil has a huge fan base, but there's not enough of the total movie going population that is going to want a Resident Evil cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough source material there that they could do it, and I just really hope that I don't know. I really hope that they give it the attention it deserves. So I will post that article if you want to finish reading those last couple of questions from IGN to the director Johannes Roberts. I'll post it in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, and I'll also tweet it out too if you're listening on Spotify. So, where do you want to head next?
I remember the other topics.
I know we actually talked a lot about Resident Evil, a lot more than
We
I thought we
did.
would.
We really did.
I didn't expect that to take that long. DC Fandome or Texas Chainsaw, and these shouldn't be quite as involved.
Let's do DC Fandome. No,
All
let's
right,
do Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out Texas Chainsaw. So earlier this week, first of all, let's rewind a little bit.
I want to
A
talk about the
while
Texas
ago,
Chainsaw Massacre, dude.
a while ago when Texas Chainsaw 2021 got its official rating, its official MPAA rated R rating. We did a whole update on that and we were talking about it. And part of what we were talking about is it was like, where is any info on this movie? Like there was nothing.
Nothing. Like
Not a
we were
dang
we
thing.
were under the assumption that it just wasn't gonna happen. Like it just fell through the cracks.
Well, and I didn't think it fell through the cracks, but I was like, man, something must really be going down with this. Something must have gone wrong with COVID, with the
Leatherface got
studio.
COVID.
I mean, it was just like, I mean, there was nothing about it. We found out that the original Sally was going to be in the movie, which is cool, but kind of like what, why?
Why?
So what we know is that this will be a sequel to the original 1973 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We will get the original final girl, Sally, in it. She's an older woman now. We know nothing about the story. We know nothing about the plot. There's a website with no information on it. We've gotten a poster. That's about it. But now, new information. It's heading to Netflix.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
I know Disney has Marvel. I know HBO has DC. And like honestly, man, it kind of makes sense for Netflix to want to delve into like just it being having horror. You know what I mean?
A lot of the horror on Netflix sucks, though.
Yeah, but I
We're
think
being
it's kind of
completely
like
honest.
I think it's like I think they're trying I think it would be dope for them to delve into the horror one. It instead of a new streaming service coming back
Mm-hmm.
and or just coming out and trying to do its own horror stuff. But I
Like
think it would be
Shudder.
yeah, because Shutter really isn't catching any leeway.
Honestly, I had Shudder for about a week, and I looked through it, and I was
Mm.
like there was nothing that I mean I watched a few things, but there was nothing that really I canceled my subscription. I was like, I don't know, it didn't really speak to me.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
think
that wild about it.
I think this move may hint the fact that Netflix may want to delve into like more of a horror genre ish kind of in there. They want their catalog to have more horror, just
Yeah,
so it can like pull as many people back in. Because I know
right.
they're getting a lot of Sony projects, so that's cool.
They are.
But they also need more. So I mean, they could just delve into the whole horror aspect.
Well, that could be a reason because originally this was supposed to be a big screen film. This was
Mm-hmm.
not going to be a streaming movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think your thoughts that could very well be maybe true. Netflix is trying to branch out. They're trying to get some of these bigger horror IPs to build up their horror collection. My fear is that hello. My fear is that this was incredibly like the test screenings that we heard about were terrible. Everybody that was at the test screenings for this movie were like, it
That's
sucked.
fucking great.
They said
I'm
it
so
was
sorry.
awful. Now, I know nothing about those test screenings other than the fact that everything I've heard about it was that it was awful. Um, I was really hoping that this thing would kind of break the Texas Chainsaw Massacre curse because let's be completely honest, all of the sequels to the original one, except for the 2003 remake, have been dog water.
Dog water.
They haven't been very
They
good.
haven't
And
been
it
good.
doesn't mean I don't like them. It doesn't mean I don't watch them. Texas Chainsaw 3D was fun for what it was, but it was cheesy. It was
Mm-hmm.
super cheesy. And I actually I sent Miguel a picture of a flow chart of all of the like the continuity of the Texas Chainsaw
He
movies.
could not have explained me the whole continuity stuff if it had not been for that fucking picture you sent me.
Miguel texted me back and he was like, "That is the most convoluted thing I've ever seen in my entire life." Well, it's
Yeah.
like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Reboot sequel to the original, then actual sequel to the original, then another sequel to the original, and then there's the remake, and then there's a prequel to the remake, and then there's another sequel to the original, and then there's another sequel. I mean, it's just like what it doesn't make any sense. Like at least Halloween and Friday the 13th, like they at least stuck with it for a few movies and then changed routes. This thing is just like sequel, prequel, sequel to the original, remake, sequel to the original. It's all over the place. It doesn't make any sense. So let's read through this thing because let's read it and then we'll talk about it. We'll read it and then we'll talk about it. Um, a surprising move that was announced at the start of this week: the upcoming Fede Alvarez produced Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a decades later sequel to Tobe Hooper's original classic. We've been told is not being released in theaters by Legendary as planned, but rather the film is bringing Leatherface exclusively to Netflix. The streaming service has picked up global rights to the franchise's return, meaning Leatherface is headed to the small screen. Directed by David Lou Garcia, yada yada yada. It'll be the first one since 2017. Oh, I forgot there was Leatherface, which was like it was a direct TV movie. I haven't seen that. And
Really?
so it's I didn't see the direct TV one. I didn't see that. While almost everything going on in the movie industry right now can be considered a pandemic fueled anomaly rather than the new normal, multiple big time horror franchises are currently planning for streaming debuts in the months and years ahead. Miguel, you might be right, dude. That's true.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense for Netflix to delve into like the horror aspect because honestly, like Netflix can't get a hold of any other big franchise, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like the only thing they have left is just to delve into the horror genre, which obviously, as I've learned from starting this podcast, that the horror fandom is extremely dense. Not
Mm-hmm.
dense in the sense of dumb, but just dense. Like there's a lot of you. So it's
Dense
it's a
and
good
dumb.
it's a good it's a good avenue to go through. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So like yeah, like I hope it doesn't I hope they do good in it, but I hope they don't just end up like a don't hope they don't end up like Shutter where it's just a bunch of like half quality movies. You know what I mean?
Me too. I hope
Yeah.
so too. The next installment in the Evil Dead franchise, Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise, is expected to go straight to HBO Max sometime next year. There's a new Hellraiser series or a new Hellraiser film, excuse me, coming to Hulu. There's going to be Paranormal Activity and Pet Cemetery movies or TV shows coming to Paramount Plus. Like, this isn't a one-time thing, it looks like. This is streaming services with horror franchises.
Which kind of
Are,
sucks, you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
one of the best things about horror, a good horror movie, is whether it's in like in a theater in the IMAX and you actually feel the intensity and the
right.
fear surrounding you. that's pretty
Hmm.
dope. And if they're all just gonna go to streaming, you kind of lose that horror aspect. I'm sure horror fans and directors of horror movies are gonna be upset with that notion of a lot of their movies being sent to streaming. I hope that's not the case because again, a good horror movie will absolutely slap
Oh yeah,
at the
especially on the
movie
big
theater.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I forgot about the Alien and Chucky TV series that are gonna be coming too. Um,
I thought you
so
were like saying they were mashing them up. I was like, what?
no, 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 no. Um, When it was announced that Evil Dead Rise was going to be an HBO Max movie, many horror fans had the same reaction that they had this week when Leatherface's impending return was announced for Netflix. Understandably, many still view direct to streaming as the death knell for franchises, as well as a bad sign when it comes to studio faith in the product. But the days of direct to video being a dirty term are largely behind us in 2021,
That's
even if
that's
horror
true.
fans, right, it is true. Even if horror fans will probably be forever wounded by franchises like Pumpkinhead, Return of the Living Dead, and Hellraiser, just to name a few, being completely killed off by low budget direct to video sequels that were never able to even approach the quality of the theatrical offerings. There was a time indeed when the franchise taking the direct to video approach all but ensured that it wasn't a viable property anymore. But can that really be said at a time when some of the best horror movies in any given year are being released in theaters, but at home? It's an interesting thought, man. And I
It
think
is,
this
but
is,
I think we need to. I think we do need to like talk a little bit about the direct to streaming thing because it's also like, yeah, it's that used to be like a really like taboo kind of, or like it was just like a end to the movie kind of thing. Like that just kills the movie right there if it goes
mhm.
direct to streaming. But nowadays, thanks to the streaming service, it kind of like made going direct to streaming popular again.
True. I
Yeah.
would agree with that. That is true. So direct to streaming, to be sure, is a whole different world than direct to video. And as the landscape continues to evolve, it's only natural that we're going to have to start looking at things in a different way. With the pandemic still raging in the US and a large portion of the population refusing to get vaccinated. Damn, bloody disgusting. Throw the shade. It makes all the sense in the world for a movie like TCM to forego a theatrical release right now and for Legendary to instead sell the finished film to Netflix for what is surely a hefty sum of money right out of the gate. A bad sign for the quality of the movie, you ask? Let's not forget that Lee Janik's Fear Street trilogy, originally planned as a theatrical release, instead uh, went direct to Netflix earlier this summer, and horror fans, by and large, ate it up with glee. And that is true. Fear Street was extremely successful, and I still haven't watched it yet. Um, but I heard it was really, really well done. Um, I That's another question that I had is about, Bloody Disgusting says they have a like it was sold to Netflix for a hefty sum of money. How much money? Usually when there's like I'm trying to think, even when Blumhouse got Halloween, I think there was a price attached. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost worried that because the film did so badly in test screenings, they were worried about how much money it would make at the box office. Um, so
So
it's
they,
almost like, how much money did they sell it to Netflix for?
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's a little scary. Um, I'm gonna skip through some of this. I want to get to the point here. Um, as a theatrical release, a movie needs to make a healthy financial profit to be considered successful enough to warrant a sequel. As a streaming release, it merely needs to be viewed by a lot of subscribers. And I think that right there is the thing that that's really the big player here is with choosing not to release it in the theaters, they don't have to worry about the box office. They don't have to worry about it making a certain amount of money to make their money back. The fact that Netflix owns this movie now and that they are the ones that are going to dictate uh, moving forward if there's a sequel to it, whatever. Um, it just needs to be viewed by a lot of people.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
it. It's easier. And like you had said, this kind of goes on to say, if the studios play their cards right, streaming could very well result in a new golden age for franchise horror content. As more streaming services pop up that need more and more original content, that'll encourage new subscribers to sign up. There's a good chance that means more and more franchise content is on the way. We're not going to read the rest of that article just because it's a lot of the same crap. But I don't know, man. I'm nervous for this movie. I'm nervous that we haven't heard anything for a movie that's been filmed
Oh,
for
I'm
almost a
nervous.
year.
I'm not nervous about it at all. I just know it's gonna suck then. Because if
I
the
think
test
it
screenings are
probably will
really
suck.
bad.
And test screenings are kind of a double-edged sword because it's like it's focus groups. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. They sell this movie to or not sell it to literally, but I mean they choose specific people that are in these test screenings. So it's
Yeah.
like I mean, it could go either way. I mean, a lot of the test screenings for for example, the test screenings for Halloween Kills were incredible,
Mm-hmm.
but Halloween Kills could still turn around and suck. I don't think it will, but I mean, and the same could go for this. The test screenings for TCM could have been terrible, but the movie's actually great. It's
But
like
then you have the test screening for the Batman, and people will absolutely fucking love it.
that's fair.
But like the test screenings really do put in a lot of factors. I have not heard of a test screening where they hated it and then ended up being good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the problem is studios use test screenings. Like I guarantee you that test screening is part of what dictated this going to Netflix and this
Yeah.
selling this movie to Netflix.
Yeah, I
Because I'm
agree.
sure they had terrible test screenings and they were like, "Wow, we're not going to make any money back, so we got to get rid of this thing." I'm
Yeah.
sure that's my fear. And that almost it's my fear is that if the studio doesn't have faith in it,
Yeah.
it's like if the studio doesn't have faith in this thing, it's like why should we?
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
mean, I think TCM is in. It deserves a good sequel. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I wasn't really that much of a fan of it. I'm sure there's plenty of you guys that really want it. I think I get why you guys are so excited for it because again, look at the fucking continuity stuff you guys have. You guys have your lineup is just so everywhere, off the wall in different directions. Like you want something that's like directly there's like a direct sequel to it and it's actually good. Fortunately,
yeah,
sounds like it, guys. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound like it's gonna be that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So
so
I'll post that article. I know we didn't get to the whole thing in this episode because we have one more to get through, and that won't take too long. We're gonna look through the DC Fandom, um, the lineup for DC Fandom on October 16th. But I will post that article in the comments below. Let us know what you think about TCM going straight to Netflix because my
doesn't
teeth
look
are
too
gritty.
good.
Not sure. Not sure. I'm scared. I'm scared, Miguel. I'm nervous. I'm very
As
nervous.
you should. As you should.
as I should be. Test screenings were terrible. And for real though, we haven't heard anything. Like there's not a synopsis, there's not a teaser trailer, there's not I mean, honestly, most people probably don't even know that this thing is happening.
Yeah, not many people do.
They
If you
probably
if
don't
you
even
didn't
know that it's gonna be a
if you
thing.
didn't tell me, if we didn't talk about that and like movies we were excited to see in 2021, I would not have known.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know. We'll have to see. So, real quick, before we get out of here, let's check out the lineup for DC Fandom on October 16th. We're not going to read through this article. I just want to get to the lineup of what is going on when. So, last year during the pandemic, obviously, DC Fandom, Blumfest, what was like the Disney Expo D23, all of these movies and film expos are becoming really popular, and I think especially now that we're at the state of the world is in the state that it's in right now with the pandemic, I think these are going to keep happening. Don't you?
yeah,
I think
I
they're
think
not
so.
going anywhere. So DC Fandom is supposed to happen on October 16th. It's starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And this is the lineup, basically. This is what we got. So there is going, let me make sure there's not days and times. I didn't think there was. So this is what we're going to get with DC Fandom. There will be an exclusive new trailer for the Batman, which we talked about this was it Let's Talk Movie News that we talked about this, Miguel? The Batman?
It was one of our last videos. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the last shows we did. We talked briefly about the Batman. I know there was a new trailer for that shown at CinemaCon, which I would assume will be this trailer that we'll get in October. And apparently the content for the Batman that they had at CinemaCon freaking blew people's minds. Like, it was incredible. And I know they just had the test screenings for the Batman. And I mean, this movie, from everything that we are hearing about the Batman, is that it is arguably the best Batman film of all time. And that it's also nasty dark. Like,
Yeah, that's what makes it
worse
so
than
interesting.
Joker. Yeah.
Like I said, with the test screening, people fucking loved it. So they like said it's like pretty much like close, if not better than Christian Bale's Batman.
Definitely. So there's going to be DC League of Super Pets. Don't really care. There'll be the first I assume it says first look at Black Adam. I assume that we will get a trailer for Black Adam since that has wrapped filming. And I mean, we still
I
have
think we'll
another.
probably just get like set photos and all that stuff, like legitimate set photos.
Do you think we'll get a teaser trailer?
No.
Really?
I think we'll probably get like, you know, not even a teaser, just like a title tease.
Well, and I mean, I don't know. I could see a teaser trailer for Black Adam, and it says a sneak peek of the Flash. I could see a teaser trailer for the Flash and Black Adam, because specifically, this comicbook.com article says behind the scenes looks at Aquaman and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and Shazam: Fury of the Gods. So I'm sure they don't have trailers, or they won't be ready for a trailer or a teaser trailer reveal. That'll probably just be like sizzle reel behind the scenes content, like, you know, images, things like that. So television, so the TV stuff, there'll be a sneak peek for the Peacemaker series on HBO Max. I guess there's a new Aquaman. I'm assuming Aquaman King of Atlantis and Batman Cape Crusader are animated shows.
Most likely, yeah.
Wouldn't you think? I would think all of these television ones, Batwoman, or Doom Patrol, Titans, Harley Quinn, Young Justice Phantoms, I assume they're all going to be animated series, which I must say, I mean, you and I have our opinions on the DCEU and what Warner Brothers has done with that, but their animated series kick ass.
They do.
They're really, really good. And then, of course, there's like the CW stuff, like The Flash, Batwoman, Superman, and Lois. Never really got into them. They didn't look that great to me.
Superman and Lois is like really getting a lot of talk because it's like a really good iteration of Superman. It's like since we lost Henry Cavill, Superman and Lois are probably one of the best CW shows out there right now.
I've heard good things. I haven't really. I don't even know if we have CW, to be completely honest. And there were a whole bunch of comic reveals. I don't really know much about the DC comics that are out, at least right now. So, I mean, I can't really, unless you can, I can't really comment on the comic book stuff just because I don't really know.
Well, I haven't read much of the comics for like, say, Legends of Tomorrow. I don't know much about them. I don't know much about Stargirl or Supergirl. I don't even know who Naomi is, so I'm sorry, guys. Out of the loop right there.
But what I am kind of excited about is the video game stuff. There are
well, we know about these two games right here.
We know about them, but to see a legit trailer for Gotham Knights and for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will be dope, because I think they're both part of the whole Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham.
No, I know Gotham Knights is a direct sequel from the Arkham series. I don't know about Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad it's a spinoff. It's not really a sequel, but it is a spinoff of that series.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be cool.
I am
But
excited.
I
I
mean,
am excited for Gotham Knights, though. It is going to be interesting.
yeah, those will be really, really cool. I did enjoy Arkham City. I played through Arkham City a few times. I really,
I played
really
it too
enjoyed
many
that
times to
game.
count. Yeah, it's
And
a great.
Arkham Knight, the last one, I didn't really get to. I didn't get to play What was it? Arkham Knight?
It was Arkham Knight. Yeah.
Was that the last one? I didn't get to play that one, but it was pretty cool. So I mean, like the highlights for DC Fandome, the Batman, Black Adam, the Flash. Those are the three that I guess I'm really, really excited about. Would you agree? The Batman is the highlight, man. Like I am so excited for that movie. And I was kind of on the fence about the whole Robert Pattinson thing, but it's like the more and more I've thought about it and the more I've heard about the Batman, I'm kind of like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Like I'm down.
We're gonna see how this plays out, guys.
Definitely. So that's it. That's a wrap for episode 37. Highlights, Miguel. DC Fandome. What are you most excited for?
I'm excited for the video games. Obviously, the Batman, and I'm not too fond of the TV shows, so it's a shame to say for me to say like I'm not really excited for them. I'm sure if I got into it, like I'm sure I'll love like maybe one or two. I just keep hearing things about like the TV shows becoming more and more like half quality. I keep hearing things about the Flash. And like
really like not that
like the CGI itself. It's really Power Ranger-ish, and I'm like, rather not. It's really
Power
bad,
Ranger-ish.
Supposedly.
That's
so
funny.
Yeah, we're just gonna to see. I'm excited for what DC Fandome has to show us. But yeah, the TV series and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of
it'll be interesting. But guys, I think that is going to do it for episode 37 of Let's Talk Movies. We talked about a lot tonight. We talked about Resident Evil far more than I thought we would. That was like a 40-minute conversation. But there's a lot to talk about there too. So let us know. I will post these articles in the comments on YouTube, and I will tweet them out later today. So please let us know, what are your expectations for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City? What do you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre moving to Netflix? Are you worried? Does it make you excited because they can do whatever they want? What are your thoughts? And then what are you most excited to see from DC Fandome? It was another kind of hodgepodge episode. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. This is our new platform. This is our new look. Hope you all like it. New episodes of Let's Talk Movies and Let's Talk Movie News drop every single Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're available on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We are also on Spotify and all of the other podcast platforms. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at We Talk the Movies. Thanks so much, guys. We'll talk to you later. See ya.